morning, everyone. I'm Jane Leach, and I'm president of the board at Hilltop Preschool. I welcome you to our outstanding school where we work every day to provide the foundation for a life of learning for our children. Please join me in welcoming and recognizing Laura Mormon. She's the executive director of the Hilltop Preschool. Yes? We have some board members present. They're busy taking pictures, so we welcome you. And we have staff members here. And I want us to recognize the dedication of these teachers, board members, and Laura. Because of them, we provide an outstanding opportunity for our children every day. They're dedicated to our children and the community, and it's admirable, the dedication that they show each day. This room is a special place. We have a chance in this room to change young lives forever. It's becoming clearer and clearer each day that a quality pre-kindergarten program is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's a must. It's a have to. None of this would be possible without the support of the state of Ohio and the city of Columbus. They are our partners in education, and that's why I'm so proud to welcome to the podium City Council President Andrew Ginther to talk more about the City of Columbus's commitment to pre-kindergarten program.
Thank you, Jane, and it's always a pleasure to visit this facility and see the amazing work taking place and the way the amazing staff and children are preparing for a foundation of lifetime of learning. Jane, it was your vision that made this preschool a reality, and educational leaders from around the state are taking note of your success. And that is why, as City Council, we are investing in your work and the future of these students. In the summer of 2014, Hilltop Preschool was one of the first sites to receive funding under the Early Start Columbus program, allowing Hilltop Preschool to open up new classrooms and expand the number of high-quality preschool seats available to children in this neighborhood. And the program is working. Last fall, 68% of Hilltop children were below average on ready-to-read literacy screening. And upon graduation, 89% demonstrated improvement, with 70% reaching average or above average ratings as compared to national benchmarks. I want the leaders of the Hilltop Preschool to know that all of us who have gathered here today, leaders in education, city government, and the private sector, stand with you in support of your mission and purpose. And together we are prepared to take the next steps in advancing pre-kindergarten education for every child in Columbus. Rhonda Johnson, Mayor Coleman's Education Director, Columbus City Schools Superintendent Dr. Dan Good, both have decades of classroom and administrative experience to bring to the table, while Tanny Crane and the Crane Center for Early Childhood Research and Policy is helping to lead a community conversation about early childhood education. And as Jane said, pre-K education is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Studies have shown that kids who participate in high-quality pre-kindergarten programs not only come to kindergarten prepared, but have higher high school graduation rates, lower rates of incarceration and teenage pregnancy, and are more self-sufficient adults. The more we invest early, the better return on investment. During the last 2 years, the City of Columbus has provided funding to expand pre-kindergarten to almost 1,000 children, both through community-based providers and through partnerships with our Columbus City Schools. Earlier this year, City Council set aside more than $4.2 million in early start programming to ensure that kids, like these beautiful little children today, have access to high quality, all-day pre-kindergarten. For more on what the city is doing to support early childhood education, Director of Columbus Department of Education, Ms. Rhonda Johnson.
Thank you, President Ginther. Good morning. I'm the director of the Department of Education, but before my appointment, I served in the Columbus City School District as a teacher for many, many years, as President Ginther said, for decades. So I can speak from experience about not just the importance of a pre-kindergarten experience, but the importance of a high-quality pre-kindergarten experience for all of our children. As with most things in life, quality counts. As President Ginther said, any effort to expand pre-kindergarten for our kids must be focused on quality. My office has looked at models of pre-K expansion around the country. Without exception, the successful initiatives, the ones that are making a difference, are focused on quality. Seattle, a recent adoptee of universal pre-K, is phasing in the program over a decade of years, despite having a successful ballot initiative that raises nearly $60 million over a 4-year period. When asked why, they respond with their mantra: quality over quantity. Boston's pre-K expansion program, which has been studied, lauded, praised, and endlessly, also started small, choosing to make sure their classrooms had all the resources they needed to be successful. And New York City, despite a massive 50,000 slot expansion in 1 year, recognized the importance of having the best teachers in both public school and community-provided programs. Teacher job fairs were held to recruit the best teachers, and they used some of their funding to pay for quality classroom grants. There are numerous reports and studies on the impact of pre-K and brain development at early ages. There are a couple of reports that attack pre-K and claim that any advantage fades out over time. Recently, Tennessee's statewide program was the subject of one such study. However, all these studies that have been critical of pre-K programs note the lack of consistent quality programming. That is why our pre-K expansion program, Early Start Columbus, contracts with only providers of high-quality programs, whether they be public like Columbus City Schools or private like Hilltop Preschool, large like CDC Head Start, or small like Starting Point Preschool. President Ginther and members of the community, I assure you that as we continue to expand, we will focus on quality. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda. None of the city's efforts would be possible without the partnership of Columbus City Schools and their shared commitment to expanding access to high-quality pre-kindergarten. Columbus must be a leader in ensuring children, regardless of where they live or how much their parents earn, are ready to learn on their first day of kindergarten. That's why Columbus City Schools has made early intervention and pre-kindergarten education such a high priority, and why we are seeing such great results. For more on the school district's success, please welcome Dr. Dan Good, Columbus City School Superintendent.
President Ginther said so very many wonderful things, but all I can remember is that he said, I'm old and Rhonda's older. But Director Johnson, I like to think of it as 4 decades of high-quality, extraordinary outcomes, right? So I know most of you in this room, and I know that each of us here shares in a belief that every child in Columbus should have the greatest opportunities at success. It's certainly a commitment that the members of the Board of Education have held. And so I want to begin by recognizing and thanking them for their commitment to student achievement, to innovation in education, and to the fundamentals provided by early learning. Representing the Board of Education today is Board Member Dominic Peretti. Early learning must be the start of a lifelong love affair with reading and mathematics, as children like the ones here today become familiar with new words and ways to use language, numbers, and problem-solving skills. At the beginning of this year, Columbus City Schools enrolled 1,532 students in our regular and our special needs preschool classrooms. And that's still not enough. We have a wait list, many more who want to have the same opportunity at a head start in school, but their parents simply can't find enough high-quality pre-kindergarten opportunities that are close to them. One family on a wait list is too many, and I know that we all know the need is so much greater than that. As President Ginther shared, our pre-kindergarten program just earned a new Early Childhood Education Expansion Grant from the Ohio Department of Education. The grant from the state totals $768,000, and because of our partnership with the City of Columbus and Columbus City Council, this grant will allow us to offer full-day preschool to nearly 200 additional students yet this year. That's 200 more 4-year-olds who will have access to a high-quality program that will increase their chances of succeeding in school and in life. I emphasize high quality for a reason, because our district and the city cannot do this alone. We need licensed schools like Hilltop Preschool right here, like the preschools offered by Grandmother in the house up the street, like the many centers across the city who offer comprehensive emphasis on the key areas of pre-kindergarten development: cognitive, social, emotional, and physical development. That's why Columbus City Schools works with high-quality providers such as the Hilltop Preschool to help teachers align their classroom lessons with state standards and our curriculum. For example, our nearby Burroughs Elementary has reached out to Hilltop Preschool and its neighbors at Faith Community Church to look for ways we can support one another in our preschool efforts. Our teachers teach other teachers, so we're all teaching at that high-quality level. We want to make certain that the lessons learned by 4-year-olds here in pre-kindergarten, whether it's our program or another agency's or Grandmother's up the street, still creates 5-year-olds who are better prepared and more successful in our kindergarten classrooms. Because a successful start in kindergarten is the first step to a journey of success in school, in college, in a career or community service, or for a lifetime. Collaboration is the key. So we thank the City of Columbus and Council President Ginther for making collaboration and high-quality education a priority. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Good. Columbus as a community must invest in the programs that give our children the best opportunities, not just to survive, but to thrive in a 21st century economy. Right now, tens of thousands of jobs are going unfilled in our community because young men and women do not have the basic skills they need to fill those positions. This is not only unacceptable to those of us in the public sector, but leaders in the private sector as well. Columbus's corporate leadership understands that it would be a huge mistake to believe that we can address the vitality of our neighborhoods without an effective school system that is preparing our children to succeed, to earn employment, and to contribute back to our community. Tanny Crane has led a statewide conversation about the importance of pre-K education and is head of the Early Childhood Education Council, which has already started their work to define goals and strategies to address early childhood education in Columbus. One of the themes of the inaugural State of Pre-K Symposium on Children and Community Roundtable was political will, and how the lack of that will has prevented us from making greater progress when it comes to ensuring our children enter school prepared to learn. I've asked Ms. Crane to share her perspective today as well and share information and updates on the work of that important organization. Tanny?
Thank you, President Ginther, and let's give a round of applause to these children who have been so great. They have a better attention span than I have, so I'll try to be short. But as President Ginther said, my name is Tanny Crane. I'm CEO of Crane Group. And so I want these young children to work for me someday. And that's what this is all about. But I'm also, like everyone in this room, an advocate of early learning. So Jane, thank you for your championing of this effort, because these are our tomorrow. These are our leaders. And so as chair of the Early Childhood Education Council, we have assembled together experts from the public arena, from the private arena, and from the nonprofits to come together to develop a community strategy on early learning and how can we dramatically increase access to quality early learning. There are waiting over 800 slots waiting in Columbus City schools. I was just on the south side where they have an extensive waiting list. There are children whose parents yearn for their children to have the wonderful education they need. Because as we all know in this room, education doesn't start in kindergarten. Education starts at birth. And we need to give every child the opportunity for success. So what our council is working hard to do is to gather research from the Crane Center and many other places to support this reason why we need to get ready. We're collecting data on all the children in Central Ohio, and we are working on looking at best practices across the United States. As Rhonda stated, there are many cities that are ahead of us, whether it's Seattle, Denver, New York City or Boston, and even our sister cities, Cincinnati and Cleveland, are moving toward universal pre-K. This is where we need to be for our children, and importantly, as employers and for our community in all aspects of it. So we are working hard as a group. We've got wonderful advocates. We have a community engagement council headed up by Stephanie Hightower, who is going to work together with our parents, with our providers, and with the community to develop this strategy and build awareness, and with our public policy council with Christy Angel chairing. So what kinds of legislation do we need to make these changes? And with the incredible support from the City of Columbus and President Ginther, we will get this done. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Tanny. We wouldn't be where we are today and preparing for an amazing next couple of years of progress on pre-kindergarten without your advocacy and championing of this issue. As we look to the future and began to develop solutions that will increase access to high-quality pre-kindergarten and ultimately lead to universal pre-K for all of Columbus children, I'm encouraged by those who have joined me today. The City of Columbus, Columbus City Schools, community-based providers, private sector leaders, and the many stakeholders that have engaged are all represented here today. Their presence and deep engagement reminds me of a similar community-wide effort to solve another challenge impacting the youngest members of our community and their families, and that is the issue of infant mortality. Nearly 2 years ago, I convened a stakeholder group to combat Columbus's shockingly high infant mortality rate, knowing that if doctors alone could have solved that problem, they would have years ago. Now, Columbus is on a path to lowering our infant mortality rate and closing the racial disparity gap that we face today. 3 years ago, Mayor Coleman and I assembled the Columbus Education Commission, knowing that you can improve education in Columbus without an honest and robust community-wide conversation about the challenges and opportunities we face. As a result of that collaborative effort, the community was presented with 55 recommendations to improve education outcomes in Columbus. At the top of the list, making sure that every child is ready to learn on their first day of kindergarten. Reducing infant mortality and improving our education system are both massive undertakings. Both are fraught with many challenges and no single solution. But, as is tradition in the Columbus way, by coming together as a community, we have found a common purpose and the collective will to make the changes necessary to give our youngest residents the best possible start to life, to give our children the chance to live and to learn in America's Opportunity City, the greatest city in the country. It's why today I am reaffirming the city's commitment to a universal pre-K education program for every 4-year-old, so that when our children enter the kindergarten classroom, they are ready to learn, to grow, to succeed, and thrive. While not one of us here today has the single solution to achieve universal pre-K, all of us together will work to develop a plan that will achieve our goal. It will take time, and it will require the collective resources of the entire community, the public, private sector. However, we will not let the lack of will, political or otherwise, stand in our way. Rather, we will stand together, united in purpose, to give all Columbus children an equal opportunity to succeed. You've heard that quality and being thoughtful and planful and deliberate is important to make sure that we deliver and honor this commitment to our children. But don't make any mistake. We will still proceed and get this done, and we'll get it done together. And we will make sure that every 4-year-old in the city of Columbus have the same opportunity these young people with this outstanding staff and caring community has throughout our great city. Thank you all for joining us here today. Look forward to taking any questions you may have afterwards. Thank you.